You generally see, for example, Mucka on the STRV, they favour a lot of the time on defense taking double STRV. And on attack, they're not afraid to mix things up as well. I'm sorry, it is going to be Utopia on the attack, my bad, and eSuba on the defense. eSuba red side, Utopia blue side. So Utopia going with triple IS7s here, Daki. Looks like 4 IS7s. It might be the 5 IS7 and double patch out. We don't have the system, unfortunately, that lets us see the tank picks in advance. So it's only what we can quickly note down when we see the camera pan over the teams. That looks like it's going to be perhaps 5. No, it's 4. An Object 263 and Mucka there, and then Bihu with the 2 batch chats.
Yeah, this is a meta that's become more how to say, more popular within the CIS region. Teams like Rush are playing it a lot. Teams like Tornado are playing it a lot as well. It's kind of, you know, it switched from the 5.8 to the IS7. Obviously, the IS7 has more HP, more health points as well. That's why it's probably superior over it, to be honest. We'll see how it goes, because eSuba's doing a quick flank to the 0 line with 3 of their bat shots.
Okay, now triple bat chat coming down there. They're going up the hill. They might carry on over here and be able to pick out the tank from Utopia, who's opposite them there. So they do. Unji and Andrew already getting first shots out. Pradlicek shooting, and it is Shoku they're shooting into. Shoku down to a 1-shot, 249. He's going to have to back off, pull out from that area, but Andrew getting shot in return. Nice little start there for eSuba.
Yeah, that's not a good start for Utopia, especially with Shuku being so low. He will have to bail from that area. That kind of exposes all these IS7s in the side as well. Because once these bat shots come off reload, they'll all be able to shoot in towards the side. Froley, in the meantime, has gone over the rail already. And now I think Utopia is in a lot of trouble because they need to get out of here with these IS7s.
Shapanik taking a shot in the rear from one of the bat chats as he backs off. He's still visible. He can still be shot at from that position. Froley's trying to get shots into the bat chats. It looked like perhaps he was aiming for Mucka or Papa Pavan actually over there in that area. Mucka's now going to set himself up in position here on the 1-2 line, try and get shots across into the tanks of eSuba. If they peek over, and this is a nice connection as he gets one in there into Ukets.
Yeah, they do now know that the 263 is there, so Ukets should be able to position accordingly to be safe from that. In the meantime, damage being taken on steroids is not as significant as I thought, but if Unji gets in position quickly, he might be able to do something, but he needs to connect those shots.
Unji shooting out there from the bottom of the map there. Triple bat chats of eSuba coming down the south side, over the 7, 8, 9 line, coming down over the rails now. Bihu starting to rotate back down to catch up with Shoku. Shapanik taking a hit down to 218, so Utopia down with 2 tanks on a 1-shot right now. They're in a difficult position, and eSuba are starting to pincer them in here, Daki.
There's no way for Utopia to actually get out of this, because these IS7s would have to turn around and run away, which exposes them completely to the triple bat shot from eSuba. And eSuba, in the meantime, have taken a lot of control. Ukets has positioned accordingly to be safe. He's behind that little June. Muka won't be able to do too much against him unless he loads HE. So this is a really strong start from eSuba. If they play this out correctly, there should be no way that Utopia win this round, because Utopia still has to push forward. The only isolation here kind of is Ukets. If they were to push on him with like Bihu and Shuku, but Shuku's so low, like if they could single him out, but even then those IS7s from eSuba will just peek over the rails and make sure to trade the damage accordingly.
It's a good thing you're saying there, Daki, with Utopia just being stuck here at the moment. Now, Utopia are the attacking side. They either need to cap base 1 or base 2. That's the areas on the map that are the big red circles. So that's the base areas for anyone unfamiliar with how the Wargaming League plays out. Utopia need to either capture one of those areas or they need to kill all the tanks for eSuba. Now, eSuba as a defensive team, they can run down the clock. Once it gets to 0, that counts as a defensive win, or they can kill all the tanks for Utopia. So eSuba, they're not in a position to want to push any attack into eSuba right now. They can happily, eSuba can not pressure Utopia. They can sit back, they can make Utopia come into him. And look at that already, focusing into Mucka now, because he's trying to push up on Ukets, and Utopia are trying to get control over the north of the map, Daki.
Yeah, but this play from Muka is not going to work out very well. Papa Pavin's now pushing up. That's a full health IS7 pretty much, but Ukets has supported. There's a lot of IS7s that are able to cover him, and I just don't think that even when they get Ukets, it will be worth it.
Overus taking a big shot there as he peeked over, but you still have Pradlicek and all his HP, Unji and all his HP, Froley pretty much and all his HP as well, and his IS7. He can start trading some shots with someone. Now, Utopia do have one of the new players in. It is Zimja. There in the IS7, so he's not a normal one in the Utopia lineup, and that could potentially be a bit of an upset for Utopia later on, Daki, with just not having that team synergy, could it?
Yeah, but they've been switching around players a little bit this season, you know, Never Carry, Hunty, now. I think it was Mika at one point he was called. I think he was in Swift, and maybe even before that, Synergy. I think so, at least. But yeah, they lose Muka, and there's just like the initial position was completely in favor of eSuba, and there's just no way that Utopia closes this distance without taking more damage, and they're already behind. It's just not gonna work.
Papa Powan starting to get clipped out right now. He does take 2 shots. You got ammo rack to repair that straight away. Zimja getting ammo racked as well. He does go down to a shot from Unji there. Papa Powan now stuck between a rock and a hard place. It was Pratlicek clipping out into him. Overus tries to get him to turn to face him, take a shot. He does trade with Ukets though. Ukets doesn't penetrate his one, but Papa Powan penetrates his shot.
Yeah, but Papa Powan's running dead right now, actually. And that just leaves 4 guys for Utopia. They tried to counter-push the rails, but the positions from eSuba were just impregnable. Like, there's no way that they would close that distance without getting clipped from the south. If they tried to push Ukets, they'd get clipped from the north. The I-7s would peek and shoot as well. And all in all, this was a good start from eSuba, but Shuku taking that initial damage, like, made it so they couldn't contest that 0 line whatsoever.
Yeah, Shuga had to back off and relocate quite far there. And Biku clipping out here into Frawley. He's fired out multiple shots. Looked like he only penetrated one of them. Another one tracked him. Andrew now coming down off the hill. You can see him in the background there, opposite Steroids. Combat just holding Steroids in that position. 4 tanks left here of Utopia against 7 guns of eSuba. And looks like eSuba now want to come in and close this one out. Pratlicek catches Biku out in a reload. Biku's going to go down here for nothing. Tried to do the ram to take some damage out, but Pratlicek dropped him right before that. In the meantime, Combat then rolls over and takes out Steroids. It's only Shapanik and Shoku left. The 2 guys at the start of the match who took lots of damage and have been on a 1 shot for pretty much this entire match.
Good stuff from eSuba, really. That 0 line push, catching out Shuku, then making sure they got the K8 control, which ruined Shapanik's day, to be honest, because he was at IS-7 that was trying to run away. And once you're committed in a position like that with no way out, you know, when you don't have the positional advantage, it's almost impossible to regain it, especially if you're 3,000 HP down the entire game.
Pratlicek just running down Shoku. Shoku takes a shot before he goes down, but that's it. eSuba picking up the win here, 1-0, and the first round here on Prokhorovka.
Just from the beginning on, eSuba had the advantage, and it just continued from that point on. Shuku being caught out on that hill area, forced to leave. The IS-7s then forced to leave as well as a result of that. But IS-7s running away. They're not the hardest target in the world to shoot at. eSuba, in the meantime, already made sure that they were over the rails. Ukets went behind that June, and they really couldn't push anything because it was half their IS-7s, like 3 of them were stuck the entire time in one position. There's Sturots, Shapanik, and Žmika, I think, were just stuck over there the entire time. So they can't leave, they can't push anything, that just leaves you with 4 tanks. And Shuku was already a 1-shot, leaves them with 3 tanks, and one of them is a TD. Technically 2 tanks in that case.
That bow tie really does look fantastic on you, by the way. I think you should keep it. You should wear it more often, to be honest. If we go to the season final, or sorry, the grand finals, you know, in Moscow, you should take it with you. It'll be cool. Kind of like your little thing, you know, always wearing the tie. It'll go well. Go well. Now, round 2, we're going to get eSuba on the attack. We're going to get Utopia on the defense. You think eSuba can make it 2-0?
Maybe. It's hard to attack, though, against this IS-7 lineup, which I think Utopia will be playing as well. It seems to be the meta now everywhere, that you bring 3-4 IS-7s,
yeah.
2 bats and a T100.
Used to be the 113 would get a lot of all the time as well.
Yeah, but now for Prokhorovka, it's just the IS-7. HP, armor, and alpha combined. There's a weak spot, you just push over, you take the damage, and you kill 1 tank after another. It's hard to kill IS-7s.
Yeah, I mean, it's back to being a beast of a tank. It was previously a really strong tank. Tank, actually, that in real life is much more powerful than what it is in game. In real life, it actually has an autoloader system as well. So they've had to nerf the real characteristics of it to put it in game. Imagine that thing with an autoloader.
I don't want to imagine that.
That'd be absolutely brutal. Now, eSuba, they're going to be on the red side. It's going to be Utopia on the blue side. eSuba are an all-Czech team. Utopia are an all-Polish team. So a bit of an interesting clash here between the 2 teams. When we do get to team comms, well, some of you may not understand the language going on, but just listen to the passion in the words and listen to the emotion in the words.
So eSuba going with the standard lineup. It's the 4 IS-7s double bat and the T100 to scout ahead. They are going to go eastern side with everybody else. If they can get a strong position, they can maybe make it work. Frawley does get an important spot onto Papapav and Shapanik and Shuku. They need to do it quick, though. They really need to take eastern control quickly, put pressure on towards Utopia. But then it's the rail fight game. Then they need to fight on the rails and make the better trades, and it's hard. It's really hard because I think Utopia might have the slightly better player skill for that when it comes to that, the better peaks from the individual players. And Papa Pavian's position will also be crucial because they can't really just start the cap.
So it's interesting we have this on Prokhorovka. It's one of the only maps where the fight starts off as a north-south fight and then ends up sometimes being an east-to-west fight. So immediately eSuba running down the right-hand side of the map or the eastern side of the map, taking control of that area, and it gives them power to make a play over base 2. Now, Papa Pawan stops anyone peeking over the north of the rails. He's a vital tank in that area. He needs to survive there for as long as possible, because once eSuba drop him, they then have control north. They don't, well, they have a little bit of control south with Frawley, and then the main fight happens in the town with the peaks over the rails. So, kind of difficult here for eSuba. They have what they want in a way, but they don't fully have it at the moment.
Well, they need to take that A6, A7 position first with Andrew, which is going to take a while. He's covered by a bat shot from A0 to make sure if Papa Pavian peaks, he gets punished. Maybe afterwards they will be able to start the cap, but it's just like you can kind of peak and reset that one. Not too difficult, and if you do it well, you won't get that much damage in return. Frawley in the south is like super important though. He needs to keep tracks on the tanks and where they're going, and if he does spot multiple guys, that leaves potential for a maybe counter push.
So Andrew tried to get a shot at Papa Pawan, didn't connect there, and you saw a shot coming over from the AB line. So Papa Pawan does have a friendly tank providing overwatch. I believe that'll be Mucka in the STRV, yeah, over there at B2. You can see in the minimap now. Frawley's position, yeah, like you've seen, Daki, down south, really important. You get starting the cap here now, so that's going to force Utopia into having to make a move. This is one of the rare occasions where the attacking team is dictating the pace of the battle. I was just thinking, Daki, is Frawley perhaps the area that they try and push into to get over to get him down?
Yeah, they can't really push Frawley because he's covered by the I7s and a bat. The I7s will peek and try to shoot if it comes down to that. Unji's shots here are really important.
Nice.
Though.
Nice connection there.
Right, he needs to hit every single one of these when Papa Pavian peaks.
Papa Pawan able to tell his teammates as well when he's been hit and what from. Andrew taking a hit there, 360 damage. Lucky that's quite a low roll. Nice shot again there from Unji into Papa Pawan. That's 2 shots gone into him so far. Overus is taking a hit in the middle in the meantime though, from steroids it looks like.
Yeah, but eSuba's going to be happy with this trade so far. They have put a lot of cap pressure, only 57 seconds remain onto that. Utopia will have to reset that at one point and will bleed in return. And now, with all these tanks being spotted out, that will give Frawley some room to actually move around the map because they pretty much know where everybody is. They're only missing the STRV. So this is now where Frawley can start making a play if he wants to.
BQ making a little peek there and getting shot for it. He's now coming back down into the middle. We have 34 seconds left on the cap circle. Overus in combat holding this area. It's going to be very vital because at some point they're going to have to push tanks over. Utopia though, Papa Pawan bleeding more HP at the north of the map. Looks like Zimja might be the one to try and peek over Daki for a reset. We're down to 22 seconds. Utopia gathering their tanks up here, ready for a push.
No, they need to reset right now because otherwise it's going to be capped out. They're going to have to make a commitment, and I think eSuba will be ready for this one.
Another tank peeking over the rails, getting shot at for it. There is a hit into Ukets that didn't reset initially. The second one comes in, damages him, but look at the damage Utopia have taken for this. In the meantime, eSuba have taken damage only across, well, 3-4 of their tanks. Overus has taken a small amount of damage, takes a bit more, and this is it. Utopia are forced into having to make a play here, all because of the cap pressure from eSuba.
Yeah, in the meantime, Frawley, that we talked about, is making a play. Overus needs to be careful with these trades here. Shapanak has the advantage because of playing on turret and being hulled down towards him. Frawley was making a play in the meantime, but now that the cap has been resetted, he needs to be careful because Utopia can now peel one of their bats away and try to go chase that T100. He needs to make sure that he spots properly and gets out of there when it's needed.
And that's exactly what's happening as BQ is starting to make his way down across the map. Mucka coming in support of him, so watch that little trade on the mini-map on the left-hand side while we watch the action here in the middle of the map. It's going to be 2 different things, vitally important here to this battle. Cap pressure once again coming in here from eSuba, down to 1 minute and 7 seconds. There's Imja trying to peek over. Looks like they're going to try and get shots into Andrew here. Perhaps counting the Batchat, knowing that the Batchat's not reloaded. Shoku takes a lot of damage peeking over. Zimja in a very dangerous place here. He does have crossfire shots come into him front and back. Andrew's going to come up reload and get shot into him as well. This is a bit bold from Zimja. He goes down, Andrew taking him out, and I think that was a bit of a misplay there, Daki.
Yeah, that was an overcommitment, especially because of Unji's position, who then takes out Papa Pavian as well in the meantime. That commitment was not necessary, and I think Frawley is about to find a lonely STRV.
This is interesting because if Utopia lose this match already, that's it. Cast and crew know they're safe for at least 2nd place. They're guaranteed 2nd place. Utopia continue to take damage. Mucka is now spotted, taken out. Frawley has him. Frawley should be able to win this one. Mucka has no one in support of him. Frawley's going to continue to get shots into the back of him. Biku takes out Andrew, but Biku's nowhere able to help Mucka here. if Frawley stays behind Muka, Frawley should be able to drop him.
Yeah, Frawley is going to take down Muka for sure. That Muka's already dead, but in the meantime, they lost Yuket. They lost another IS-7 as well. And these bots are still alive as well. Bihu and Shuku. I mean, they can make this work. Unji does get spotted out. It's a 3v3, but I think eSuba is in the advantage because the fact they have a rotational lineup.
eSuba here with a lot of tanks with HP, but you have 2 Batchats and you have a T100. Now in return, Utopia have the IS-7, double IS-7, and Shoku in his Batchat. This is going to be very careful how they have to play this one. A lot of HP to be managed here, Daki.
Yeah, Pratelicek needs to get into the fight because they're going to push on towards Unji's position, or at least try to. Like, they need to get the guns into position to punish this. They need to take down Shepanek as quickly as they can and then focus on the Steroids because they are going to try and kill Unji.
Unji only has 3 shots as well, so he needs to penetrate every single shot as Steroid starts shooting into him. This is going to be close. I think the actual advantage here sitting with eSuba, just simply because it's 2 IS-7s against Batchats that are not loaded and don't have the positional advantage, although Unji did do a bit of a rope-a-dope there on Steroids. He's going to take a shot as he goes over the rails here. Steroid's just holding his shot, waiting to connect it. But look at that, Unji getting away with only taking 1 shot out of 3 potential hits coming in.
That was a great debate actually from Unji, and he's looking towards Shuku now as well. If he can pick this up, it's all over because in the meantime, Pratelicek and Frawley took down Shepanek.
Unji shooting out across here, misses with the first one, connects with the second one, gets the third one, picks up a triple kill, dropping Shoku, and now Steroid's the only tank left. In the blink of an eye, eSuba have turned this one around in their favour. Yeah,
great stuff here from eSuba. Unji with the debate, getting up and across, taking minimal damage actually. He should have taken a lot more, but there was a miss. There was a miss from Shepanek, there was 2 misses from Shuku. Steroids is in a lot of trouble now because he's by himself, and these 2 players, Frawley and Pratelicek, will just make sure they lock him down if he tries to go for that reset.
Unji in the cap circle doing the reset. Now Steroid's been pulled in. At one point he's going to have to think to himself, I'm going to have to reset here. In the meantime, Frawley and Pratelicek are going to shoot into him as best as they can. Pratelicek's just about to come off reload. Steroids seems to realise that no shots are coming in, so he has a chance to move, but Pratelicek can just peek over the other side of the rails and continue to shoot into him.
Yeah, Steroids is going to go up and over, actually unspotted for that, but if he pushes Unji, he will take 5 shots from that. He's going to try and go across the A-line. It's a good play, actually. The only issue is Pratelicek will be ready to clip him, and Unji's in a bush. I don't think he's going to be able to spot him. He even left the cap.
Nice shot there already from Pratelicek. First one comes in, bit of a lock on his side. It actually tracks Steroids and spins him round. Steroids now having to put the front of his tank towards these tanks, try and bounce as many shots as he can. But look at this, Frawley's going to get shots into the side of him. Pratelicek shooting him at the front, Unji shooting him at the front. IS-7 armor coming into play here. He is taking a lot of deflecting shots, but nope, he's down to a 2 shot at the moment now. Unji's going to get another one into him, and then Frawley gets one more into him. Looks like Frawley might try and rush in here to get the kill because he can weather a shot from Steroids. He's going to get round to side of him. Steroids missing with that one. Frawley's going to pick up his double kill, and eSuba take the first map 2-0. Very nicely played there in what was a very tense situation. Yeah,
crucial plays from those bad shots. Unji, definitely playmaker in that one, getting the triple kill. Doing tons of damage towards Papa Pavian. Yeah, they lost their IS-7s, but leaving that STRV so lonely, he could have had a big factor in this game, but now, not really. He got focused out by Frawley, and Pratelicek actually made it over the rails in that time as well, so when the IS-7s then pushed back over, he actually got some free shots, and then the great play on towards Shepanek, while Shuku was focused on Unji, taking out that IS-7, and that just left Steroids by himself, so...
Yeah, to be able to get away from that area and only take 1 shot when you saw 3 shots going into him, that was... not great shooting from Utopia. They could have really had things in their favour there and brought that back to 1-1. Now we're going to go to Mines. This was eSuba's pick, so perhaps they have a bit of a plan here. They haven't played it necessarily too great, but as one of their most played maps.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they can make this work. They're on a roll right now. That's going to help definitely with their motivation and their determination to win this round. They might go with Artie again. We've seen them play it a lot on attack, actually. Combat in that Conqueror GC.
Yeah, Combat can do a lot of damage.
He does do a lot of damage, but the thing is, you're always 1 tank down. You're losing a lot of time because you have to play for that Artie. You have to make the spots. So you're going to lose at least 5 to 6 minutes before you even start making your play, which then leaves you with very little time to actually play out the game, which means you have to take risks, which means you have to take risky peaks, do risky plays, and that's usually what costs them in the end.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of these things that artillery can sometimes do a lot of damage on Mines, but when the team fight comes down to it, artillery can't necessarily help sometimes, and if it gets spotted out or if it's locked behind an area, it's really isolated from the rest of the team. Now, Utopia, they're going to be on the blue side as eSuba on the red side. I'm looking forward to this one, Daki. I mean, if eSuba can start to break away a little bit here, it could be a very interesting start to the weekend.
Yeah, you can see the lineup already from Utopia is none that is going to attack quickly. You can see the Type 5, Mouse.
Super Conqueror.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting where they're going to put that one. Could a Super Conk play? I mean, he could play in the base. He has a good turret, but you really want to put him in the base. You could put him behind the
Can you put him
rock.
behind that rock where you would normally put
I think he's tall
PZ7?
enough. I mean, I think he's tall enough, but I'm not sure about it.
That's
No RT though for
interesting.
eSuba.
So Mucka's going to be playing the Super Conqueror, and immediately eSuba like, okay, we've got a fairly mobile lineup. Let's go straight onto the hill.
Yeah, they have to go straight on the hill, make sure that there's nobody climbing, because the Batshot
Look
can
at
do it as
this
well.
from Utopia, though. Everyone from Utopia gathered up together. Andrew takes a hit from Papa Pavan as it goes up. Utopia have pulled everyone back in base here, Daki. It looks like you were perhaps expecting a rush down the 1-2 line.
No, yeah, they're just making, this is what most teams do, they're just making sure that if there's a quick 1-2 line play coming out, that they are able to punish it. Once they realize there's not, they might keep those tanks in the base, but the Type 5 usually doesn't stay there, because on long distance he doesn't really hit anything, because it's very hard with that HE gun to actually make it work. So he'll probably back off at one point, but yeah, eSuba just doing the standard play, combat in F2 in the bushes, everybody else taking the hill to begin with, and now we need to see what they're going to go for. Usually we see 8-9 line plays, but those are super difficult to actually pull off, because there's so many tanks sitting in the base. There's Bihu, Shepanek, Stuarts is now moving down like we expected, so that leaves a Mouse and a Type 5 Heavy under the hill. It's just really hard to kill.
Yeah, Shoku now backing off from the island area, and Papa Pawan's going to swap places with him because no one's pressuring that area, so they can freely rotate. Combat's actually backed off completely, Dake. eSuba stand to gather their tanks on the right-hand side, so it looks like eSuba are going to be doing a 7-8 push. Utopia kind of set up to defend for that as well. But if they can do this with Papa Pavan on the other side of the map, and Mucka over there, Shoku has came back over, so it looks like Utopia have read this, Dake. They're expecting it.
Well, this is how Kazna Crew sets up as well, if you look at it. They just use an E3, which is actually better than the E4 in my opinion, because now if these bad shots, which is going to be Froley in combat, they can either decide to push down with the rest of the team, but you also genuinely see those bad shots staying back with heat clips, aiming towards Biku's position. Now, if he gets spotted out, and he's too far out actually, then he can get focused down really, really quickly, because an E4 is not an E3. The turret is spendable, the lower hull is weaker, just in general, weaker armor. So if those bats can get clips on towards him, he will die when it comes down to that. So we just have to see what they're waiting for, if they're waiting for anything at all.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, Shoku's still aiming towards the island, so he's not necessarily fully expecting everything. There's blind fire shots coming out. They're flying over Biku, not a single shot's connected. eSuba are trying their best here to get shots. We're using the laser sight to let you know where they are aiming for. And Biku's going to be saying, guys, lots of shots coming my way, but not a single one has connected.
Yeah, they were expecting Biku to be a little bit more towards his left. Well, he wasn't. Yeah, it's a good attempt, really, but even then, you can't expect to do too many damage on towards that position. Maybe 1 or 2 shots, that's about all you're going to get out of that.
Froley in combat now rotating back round to south. We're looking here at Zimja and Steroids. Zimja's already taken 2 shots into the face of his mouse for peeking on that corner. Nice play there, probably from Overus getting the shots into him.
Yeah, you can see the inexperience, because we've seen people like Hayaba play over there, and they don't take any shots whatsoever. Maybe some HE damage, but that's it. Him taking that damage is probably down to his inexperience and not knowing how to play that position 100%.
It's an area where we normally see a lot of mouse tanks sitting. Now, Froley in combat, able to come now onto the island. At some point, they might decide to push down there, but they're going to have a hell of a hard job shifting Papa Pavan from that position.
Well, they're pushing Pratelicek down first, maybe hoping that Papa Pavan will peek out too far so they can double track him, or trying to distract Utopia in general so that they can push down with the rest of their tanks.
Pratelicek taking 2 shots for his positional play here as he moves forward. Papa Pavan is spotted. They know that IS-7's over there. Pratelicek getting hit again. He is got a dead loader now as well, so that's going to slow down his reloads. Guess he doesn't have a med pack back here. That should have been fixed straight away. Yeah,
Papa Pavan is pushing forward on the 1-2 line while the 113s are going on the eastern side. This might be a bait play here from Utopia, but these 113s need to survive this to begin with.
eSuba pushing down here. They're going to try and drop Zimja as quick as they can. Now, there is the danger of Shepanek being able to shoot at them as well as Biku and at E4. They have that positional play. At the same time, Froley in combat are going to try and get the drop on Papa Pavan. They should be able to drop him to this position. Froley taking a lot of damage, though. He did get stopped right in front of Papa Pavan. They're stopping to shoot him head on, Daki. Not sure that's necessarily necessarily the best tactic. Going to get round beside him. Papa Powen dropped almost down to a one shot. One more shot coming in. Combat's going to get hits. Combat taking damage for this as he pushes round as well. Now, eSuba have lost practically check. They've lost the mouse. They've still not dropped Papa Powen yet, and this looks like it's all but over right now for eSuba.
Yeah, they tried to do the bait play, but they lost Pratalicek really quickly. Froley will pick up Papa Pavian, but gets traded in return. They tried to bait out Utopia, but it doesn't really work. Like, look how much HP they have remaining. Those guys from the base did the damage. They lost the mouse, and these two batshots would have taken so much damage on the crossing as well. I don't think... I mean, it's a nice attempt, but it wasn't going to work.
Yeah, I was thinking to myself that perhaps if Combat and Froley had driven past Papa Pavan and got himself safe behind the terrain and then shot backwards on, it would have been in a better position rather than stopping where they are to shoot.
No, they can't do that because he will just drive around the rock.
Suppose just go forward.
They would have to double track him on the move to actually make that work, and they would have been down a lot of shots, at least 4 between the two to make that work. He would just driven. If they pushed him, he would just drive. He would go forward and go behind the rock, and they would never kill him.
So yeah, unfortunate play there from eSuba. They had a plan in mind, but Utopia's defensive setup here and the tanks involved just proved to be too strong for eSuba when the push did come.
Yep, and that just leaves Andrew by himself in that lonely TVP. Utopia needed this round really badly, but don't forget, eSuba is going to be defending next, and I don't know if Utopia is going to be able to break that one because, you know, so far they've played 10 times on mines, and they have won not a single attack.
Not a single attacking round. Yeah, that's quite interesting actually. It's
not like eSuba's defensive win ratio is much better,
perhaps it's
but better than 0.
Perhaps the pick from eSuba, then they were thinking, hey, we can maybe steal a round, but we have a much better chance on another round, you know?
Yeah, mine's attack usually is like the way it's set up now is very hard not to crack, like really difficult with those tanks in the base that are able to cover the crossing, the I-7 on the corner, or in the 1-2 line like Papa Pavin just did. There's just so much fire incoming that you're going to lose too many tanks to actually make it work. They tried to bait it out now to get the forces to shift towards the other side, try and catch the I-7 and maybe continue from that. But the 113s would have to kill the mouse really quickly for that. Pratalicek can't dive for that either. And even if that happened, I think the tanks from Utopia would just push out of the base and go kill them. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting on mines because we do see a lot of different tanks being used for it. Kazna Crew, for example, on the defense will go with dual AMX 50Bs to provide that extra additional firepower. We see other teams using the Foch B defensive as well to wreck anyone that tries to cross down 1-2 line. So interesting to see what Utopia are going to bring for their defensive setup and how armor-centric it's going to be, or are they going to do something that's fairly mobile and try and take a rush, or sorry, eSuba, sorry. Are they going to do something fairly mobile and try and take the hill perhaps on defense we saw teams do?
With a 2-1 scoreline, there's really no need whatsoever for eSuba to go aggressive.
Yeah, to play reckless, yeah.
The ball's in Utopia's court, to be honest. They need to make the plays here because they need to win this round. Because if they don't, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. Like, honestly, 3-1, then
eSuba
moving
3-1 leads, and the fact that if they don't win this, they're going to be knocking themselves off guaranteed for top spot, and they're still in the challenge for second spot, but losing today will give Kazna Crew a guaranteed second spot. So pressure's on Utopia right now. eSuba are tied for points right now with Savage Squad on 8 points. A clean win for eSuba would be fantastic as well, because that would give them a 5-point
I don't think Savage can recover
buffer.
from a clean win from eSuba. I think if they do that, then it's over for Savage, and who cares at least, unless some magical things happen today.
I mean, it'll give them a buffer, sorry, above who cares who are on 5 points, not 5-point buffer. Me fail English, Dacky, that's impossible.
No, it'd be a 6-point buffer.
Yeah, I can't count because I was looking down at who cares because they were on 5 points.
Actually, eSuba's going to go fight. You can see it in the lineup.
The defensive lineup is fairly mobile.
It's
so
5As. It's the 5As. We saw it against Ding as well. Like
that fight was tremendous on the hill. So it depends. Are Utopia going to drive into it? Utopia are going to look at that lineup and say, hang on a minute, guys, this is what they did against Ding. Let's not take the bait. Or are Utopia going to fancy themselves and be like, okay, let's take the bait? And Utopia are taking the bait. So we're going to get a good old hill fight, Dacky. This could be done and dusted within about 2 minutes here.
Yeah, it's going to be crucial what these tanks actually do. I don't think eSuba... Ooh, let's see how much... Bihu can't go up. Like, he cannot in that TVP. He's stuck. and they're going to play the 4-line as well. This is going to be interesting. Shuku needs to get a good clip out here, but I want to see what the bad shots from eSuba are going to do as a reaction to this. Are they going to try and take the hill? Because right now, only Papa Pavian and Muka are really in position to challenge that. They can take the hill if they want to.
Unji and Andrew are starting to move. They're going to turn up into the hill. Combat blocking them to allow them to get up. Unji and Andrew do get up onto the hill cleanly. Unji does take a shot, however. They're going to force Shoku down from that area. He has an AMX 5100, sorry, 13105. He takes a bit of damage as he goes down, but look at the damage going back out here. Papa Pawan getting wrecked. Steroids does kill Yukits. He was the initial tank in eSuba taking a lot of damage. Unji does another parting shot at Shoku as he goes away. Mucka getting dropped down to one shot in the mouse. That's a huge amount of HP that Utopia are about to lose if Shoku goes down for this. Sorry, Mucka goes down.
This fight is in favor right now of eSuba, but only ever so slightly. They finally pick up Muka. That's crucial. Now these bad shots need to reload and make another crucial clip. They can't allow Shuku to get into the base. It'd be devastating. They need to shut that down. Unji still has 2 shots. If Shuku gets here, he could be really bad for eSuba because he's going to be able to clip into their sides.
Shoku slamming on the brakes there, doing a little front wheelie as he does so. Biku was coming down to support him as well, Biku in a TVP, so Shoku's going to start getting shots into the back of the tanks from eSuba, and rightly so. eSuba are going to push to get away from Shoku and behind them. They're going to try and force Papa Pawan to drop down as they get shots into Zimja, Shapanik and Steroids. Zimja is tracked, but Papa Pawan can still do damage. eSuba are not forcing Papa Pawan back from that area. If he stays there, Papa Pawan can continue to get shots on the side of them, and this is not working for eSuba. They're not eliminating that tank from that area.
You know, Papa Pavan is going to be crucial in this. There's so many one-shots on the eSuba side. Andrew coming from behind, though, but he's on reload now. He goes down. The flying from Shuku caused the reaction that eSuba wasn't really ready to take, to be honest. Not a good position for them, but they couldn't really deal with that AMX in their side.
Steroids now picks up the double kill as he drops Folly. Only Combat and Unji, the Batchat, so it's a 5A and a Batchat left for eSuba. Utopia are just going to push into this one. They have the tank and HP advantage. Combat's going to go down in just a brief second. Zimja picking up his double kill. All you have left is Unji up on the hill. He has a clip ready to go, but now he's on a one-shot himself, 96 health. Looks like Steroids is going to pick him up, and that's going to be us on mines. Utopia coming right back into this one. It's now 2-2 between the teams.
Yeah, eSuba could have made that work if not for a few mistakes, to be honest. Allowing Shuku to take their base should never happen.
Yeah.
Honestly, should never happen. Unji should be controlling that. He was low HP, had 2 shots. He should have been controlling the AMX. He didn't. One of the 5As from eSuba, I don't remember the name, also drove too far forward towards the rock and got singled out and got killed.
Yukits was the first one to take shots at the shot.
So, like, he went too far forward and got focused out by the guns from Utopia. But yeah, once Shuku gets into the base, they have to push. They have no other option because the AMX will just peek, shoot, peek, shoot, peek, shoot the entire time.
Yeah.
And they can't turn their turret because as soon as they turn their turret, the other guns will peek up and shoot them in the side of it.
The other thing I noticed as well is that the area where Papa Pavan is, the last time they did this against Ding, I think it was Hulknick in that area, and they forced Hulknick to drop. So they didn't have to worry about then somebody shooting them from the side. So
they were winning that engagement until Shuku got into the base. I think if Shuku doesn't get into the base, they can easily
carry on, push up.
Not easily, but they can make that trade work.
They took a lot of damage for it, and Utopia read what they were going to do and met that push with their own equal force as well. So fair play to Utopia coming back into this one 2-2, not making it easy for eSuba. As I say, both teams. Every match now, from now on till we're finished on Sunday, is vital for every single team to pick up points. So there's no easy plays anymore. Sand River, eSuba are going to be on the attack. Utopia are going to be on the defense. Utopia blue side, eSuba red side. This is going to be tough, for sure. For either team, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, attack is always pretty difficult on Sand River unless you're Kazna crew, to be honest. And then the ones that...
Kazna crew in anything this season are making
it work all the time, but yeah. I want to see what eSuba's going to bring here. Like, they're a team that I can't see them bring a 2-6-1, to be honest. Like, they wouldn't be afraid of bringing that. That's also a very difficult play to pull off. We've seen it fail multiple times over because it's hard because the 2-6-1 doesn't really do that much damage, and he needs time, and he also doesn't have the greatest ammo capability in the world either.
What did you think of Sand River on the sandbox?
Looked okay.
Just okay. It looked fantastic. It looked so good. I'm really looking forward to the HD map. Sand River, if you guys haven't done it, go and look at a video of Sand River on the sandbox right now with the new improved HD map. It looks absolutely stunning. I can't wait to be able to cast matches in that, to be honest. With all the tanks, more than likely by then, every tank should be HD. The map looking HD, it looks absolutely amazing.
So double IS7 for Utopia.
T100 Lite as well. They tend to favour that quite a lot,
Well,
although
the T100 got buffed. I don't remember exactly what they buffed about it in the last patch. But
they
all
changed the parameters of the Rhine Panzer, and Utopia used to favour the Rhine Panzer all the time on defence. You normally see Mucka in it, but now Mucka taking the T100. They improved the DPM a bit of the T100, I believe. Different position as well, so
he's just gonna sit here stationary. You might even have a cam on it, but I doubt it. And he can spot the cap from there, like we've seen being done with an STRV. So he's gonna be over there. It's gonna be hard for eSuba to really dig this out. They need to figure out Muka's over there and clear him from that position.
I was gonna say, does this look like a read from Utopia into eSuba? Because
No, it's just a standard strat.
eSuba sending all the tanks down low, doing nothing at all top. Frawley has got up into that position unchallenged or unaided as well, so it's good to be able to climb up there himself. It's something Mojo talked about a lot in Clan Wars as well. It's vital to get a tank up into that area.
Yeah, it is. Now, when Unji peeks, he should be spotted because of Muka's position, and they should be able to figure out that the reason he is getting spotted is because the T100 Lite is sitting on that dune. So Overus, Andrew crossed over, they got spotted out. Unji peeks up, and he should know now that there was Muka there spotting. Muka actually runs away from that position, but they still have the IS-7 steroid, so it's probably running binos like we've seen before, like Zafar and others were using to spot that cap, and then you have Bihu with probably optics or binos as well, one of the two.
So eSuba, with the dangerous plays there, they want to do something around base one, they want to do something to start cap, but Utopia are going to make it difficult for them. Up in that elevated area, you have multiple tanks from Utopia that can shoot down into cap 1. They can get
expected,
resets.
Steroids running binoculars. And Bihu could be running binoculars as well, or optics. That partner has amazing view range. Like it's not even funny.
It's the biggest in game, isn't it?
It can go well over 500. He has binos as well. That thing, like with binos and
like half
rations,
the map.
is insane. Like it has so much view range.
Andrew here is spotted, but no one really has a shot on him. Being able to stay hull down behind the dune that he was driving past, also in that working that dry riverbed area in the middle. Unji now starting to move up south on a reload, changing ammo types perhaps. Dacky, or has he been blind firing?
Could have been blind firing, to be honest.
I think he was on.
There's no need on this map
to count the shells.
There's no really need on this map to switch ammo type a lot, so there's that. So they've taken map control. Now we need to see what they're going to do with this map control. UKITS is going to take back C1. The north is now pretty much impregnable. Like they cannot take the north anymore because the I-7's over there. Muka's on the climb now. Bihu, Steroids are going to shut that down as well.
Muka always makes climbs look so easy when he does them.
So do
usually
I,
always
man.
does them first time.
I always
We only
do them
see it.
first
We
time.
only see a video of you doing it first time. We never see all the trials before it.
There
next
is no
time,
trials.
next time we're going to do a video thing. I'm going to ask them to record all the attempts, and then we can have a video of the attempts and see if you do it first time or not.
All the time, first time, mate.
Okay, okay. I'll take your word for it, Dacky. Just because there's no way to debate it or no way to refute it.
Well, there is now the triple bat going north. UKITS, Unji, Frole. They're going to start going north, but like, I don't see what they're going to achieve there. Maybe find Shuku if they're lucky, but other than that, there's not much to gain from them doing this.
Try and perhaps distract them, try and get Utopia to turn another way, or try and pull their attention away. I mean, the thing is Bihu and Steroids can both keep vision on that cap circle all the time. Now, Utopia Steroids is taking damage in IS-7, Andrew and eSuba is taking damage in a 5A, and that's it so far for shots exchanged, for at least shots that have penetrated between both teams.
Yeah, the I-7 gets spotted out, so he knows there's somebody in that area. Nothing else could spot him other than the bat shots, so they're aware that at least one bat's over there. I don't know what the play here is going to be for eSuba. I mean, it's going to be difficult because of these two guys with binos that are spotting the cap the entire time. And then the north side just really no good. I mean, they could get lucky and like find Shuku, but it's just like Shuku would have to make a major mistake to sit there as the batchets are approaching.
Steroids just coming off reloads. Looks like he's perhaps trying to do blind fire, trying to get shots into Overus. That one just flies right over the head of Overus. Overus might try and return fire. Combat's now moved up to the edge of the dry riverbed to try and get vision, try and play peekaboo, but and so far so slow from eSuba. They've still got 5 minutes left to make a play, but this is all playing into Utopia's hands.
Obviously, time is working in Utopia's favor. I just don't see what eSuba's ultimate goal is going to be here. They're going to push A-line against the entire team from Utopia. They can't get the I-7 out. Stewards and Bichu will just shoot them on the crossing as well. They're pushing forward combat in the pattern, but even that is just, you know, he gets onto the June and he can't really do much from that area either.
Yeah, there's not really much of a crossfire opportunity here that eSuba have. Combat can go up into this position, but anytime anyone peeks over this dune, you have, like you said, the gun line of Utopia waiting. Now, they have good coverage over base 2, they have perfect coverage over base 1 to watch it, and eSuba need to try and find themselves some better angles. There is a shot going into Shoku, that's a nice peek there from combat.
Yeah, Shoku kind of, you know, making a small mistake, taking a connection for that, but that's also about it. There's 4 minutes left for eSuba. Their play has to come out within now and 1 minute to be effective, because otherwise it's just not going to work. So they don't really have time to work number 1 base anymore. They just don't have enough time left for that. So it's going to have to be an A-line play, no matter what they do.
Shoku fortunate as well, there was quite a low roll that went into him. Getting away there with a good bit of HP.
I guess they're going to try and push the I-7. Like they want to get the I-7 out, so they're going to push him from 2 sides. But they're going to take so much damage to actually even make that work.
Bat chats are gathering up here from eSuba, they're making the push. Let's actually listen into their team speak and see if this works for them.
Kouká na mě 107, vystřelil jsi mi ho. Nemá opravy.
Nás spotne.
Ona to je tady na boostu.
Nerozsvítí nás. Jo, svítím.
Mě svítí. Teď svítím taky.
Jdem?
Jo.
Budou za
Ty
tím
batí,
batí.
vole. Ale nemusíme ho úplně píkat. Dobrý, Unky může dojet? Jo,
Trekni ho znova.
Light přijel.
Bata?
Bata.
Já jedu za tebou, kombata, jo. Jedu za tebou.
Co s čím?
Nice.
Dorazím se domů.
Já
jedu. Zkusím dát rád.
Nabijím.
Vy musíte hrát tady.
Kombate?
Já nabiju.
Jako...
Bati jsou vybitý, jo, tady. Bati jsou vybitý.
Tři mě veze to zprava.
Tady.
Já jdu to veze to jako.
Jděte po něm rychle.
Jukil Hanky, le.
Kolik má ten bat ještě?
Je vybitej. Teď měl být vybitej.
Andrew, potřebuji Michal. Už přede mě hned.
Už mám jenom jednu.
Na tom lightku ujedu.
Jenom jednu?
Mám 9 sekund roll.
Ale jeď.
Jo, jedu.
Nedostávej.
Musíš jít, prosím. Overus ho zabije, no, ale... Prostě už to začne objíždět někde tady, ale...
Light 3 po prostě, jo.
Mám lightko mrtvý, mám 3 na bata, ale...
Já teď chci zabít to VZ.
Ten bat má hodně, no.
Jo, ne.
Overus
Overus
má
normálně na
14.
spodek to hodně.
Ten bat jde k němu, co je.
Kombat tady má van.
Máš ho za sebou, čekaj, za sebou.
No já ho nechci, já ho nedostřím.
Já vím, ale...
No tak teď vůbec, no, ale...
Já jsem mu dát aspoň... Ty jsi stejně nezdrh. Aspoň ty rány mu dát. Chci pomoct kombatovi.
Ještě 7, 5.
Sedmičku?
Měrám, ne?
Tady to vést trvalo strašně dlouho. Do čeho jsi prostě střílel, že jsi neměl náboje?
Na mid jsem zkoušel petla.
Aha, zkoušel.
Já jsem měl 3 jakože. A to musíš kolnou nebo něco?
A než jsi tam byl, tak to bylo, tam... Jsem nemohl chytřit, než jsem byl sedmičkou, takže...
Ty jsi měl taky takhle rovně, ne tady to objíždět. To ti zabralo 2 minuty zase. Bylo stejné jako ty si to chtěl objíždět tady takhle.
Kolik má
Tak vy jste mi řekli, já jdu na mid, tak jsem tam
Pak
jel.
je na
tak
dva.
jsem byl na té straně.
Na 2,
Ty na 2, Overus musí hrát?
Může hrát jako hned, jako jo.
Ten bat vám zdrhne, no.
To je ten vystřelený.
Je to vystřelený. Prostě ho můžeme...
Ten bat.
Well, so close, Daki, but so far. Overus now facing off against Steroid. Steroid stuck behind that rock. Great hold down position for him, making Overus drive up into him. They didn't quite kill Shupanic quick enough, we were talking about on the right hand side, and then that kind of held everything up in the play in the middle.
It was close, like closer
Yeah.
than I expected actually. Utopia kind of fumbling that one, but they won in the end, which is all that matters. Yeah, maybe with more time, eSuba. I don't know why they took this long to make a play. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
they're sitting there for 2 minutes.
There was a fight in that fight in the middle of hand. I think Andrew put one of these shots into the ground. If that one had connected into
Yeah, but
the
it was
tank, but
those
yeah.
are those really minor things already. To be honest, I think Ukets could have actually maybe played a little bit better. He tried to turn around after he killed the T100. I think he would almost be better just driving down because then Overus would be able to support him and Pratelicek as well. If he just kept going down 0 line and just went there, I don't think Bihu would have had an angle on him. But, you know, it's those small things that really make the difference.
Yeah.
Steroids and Bihu, in the end of the day, played it out really well. So there's that.
Yeah, true. Now teams are going to swap sides. We're going to get eSuba on the defense. We're going to get Utopia on the attack. eSuba red side, Utopia blue side. I mean, I think it's still going to be 3 for 3. I think eSuba probably going to take this one. Then we're going to go into the next map, which is, you know, then it'll probably be, I think it'll be 1 on the next map. I think it's going to be 3-3, and then the next map's going to be a 2-0.
Maybe. You never know.
It's just because I want my prediction to be right.
I think Sun River can be won though by Utopia if it comes down to it, depending on how they play it. They played it with Artie the last time with steroids. They
Yeah.
didn't manage to close out the round. It was close. I want to see if they're going to bring him again. He actually ran out of ammunition last time they played.
That's why I had to drive into the cap circle.
Yeah, he ran out of ammunition. That 261 doesn't have the greatest ammo
Yeah.
capabilities in the world. It fires rather quickly. So in 10 minutes of constant shooting, he will run out. But I don't know. If they're going to bring it, they're going to obviously play for cap 1. If they're not going to bring it, they can still do the split like we see from teams like Kazna on the June, sometimes south, sometimes north, trying to find an angle, trying to find an opening. And there's the 261.
Big ask here from eSuba as well is that can they keep the motivation up? You know, their spirits might be down a little bit. They had a 2-0 lead. They're now down 3-2. Can they, you know, can they keep on top of things?
It is. I think they'll be kind of annoyed with that Mines, but that's also the only thing, to be honest, because that was the only round. Like last round, they got close, but you can't expect to win Sand River attack nonetheless. So we are going to see steroids in the 261. It's going to be a long game, I can tell you that much.
Steroids going to go over to round about G1 area, I guess, Taki initially for his first couple of shots.
Yeah, they just boosted him to make sure that they have control over that. So just made sure that, you know, he's safe.
Yeah, we saw that last time they had artillery. The enemy team pushed along the south of the map down the JK line. Did get shots into him, but didn't kill him. He only took 1 hit, and then he was able to get away safely. Frawley taking a shot as he moves across there in the middle area. A bit of a bold play there from eSuba, taking damage like that early on, not needed.
Yeah, I wonder what they're going to try and achieve with these IS-7s because they're very far out of the fight. Now, the one thing is that Papapavian is not on F1. He's on D3. If these bats keep pushing, he could actually be found in that position, to be honest. Depends on if the crossfire is there. If Unji stays here, he might be able to clip that bat. But Papapavian, being the player as he is, already repositioning, which is vital. I still think not having F1 might be an issue for them.
It's kind of dangerous because it will allow the team to push up and Papapawan's not going to have proper vision on it. Is he going to turn around and try and quickly get himself up there now? Or is he just going to carry on over to G1, H1 to tell Steroids, hey dude, keep moving, there's tanks coming over this area. But for now, eSuba kind of slowing down their push. Frawley and Overus have taken up position. Pratelicek and also Unji are going to carry on that position. Artillery looking for a shot there into Combat and the Rhein Panzer, but Combat should avoid that one, and he does.
Yeah, but he did take a significant amount of damage from that IS-7 while running away. The one good thing is for eSuba that already hasn't really had an effect on their tanks whatsoever yet. I mean, they've wasted already 2 minutes, and he hasn't actually connected anything so far, I think. So that's
Cap being
good.
started though.
Yeah, the cap gets started, but eSuba doesn't really care about that one right now because they're pushing out the 1 line. So they don't really care 100% about the cap. And with Frawley's position, he could push forward at 1 point. Lukin could go forward at 1 point to reset that one as well.
Frawley, actually, Mucka taking damage there in his STRV as he peeked over. Now, Andrew and Pratelicek coming around the back. Andrew fired off a snapshot, so he's down to 4 shots. Papapawan around the corner for them has 4 shots. It is Papapawan basically on his own there. Steroids continuing to move south of the map. Panic giving a little bit of cover by moving into the town. Zimja's coming over as well. They smell this push from eSuba, and Utopia could have a bit of a fight on their hands in just a few moments.
I think they're going to try and push off Frawley, but with those 2 bats there, they need to be very careful the way they approach this one. If Frawley plays it well, he shouldn't give them an opening. He already spots Panic. That should be the tell sign that there is going to be a play on towards him.
Over us there being shot at. Looks like Steroids getting one into him from artillery, but he's still safe. He can always go back behind the rocks to protect that area. Pratalicek and Andrew still holding off on the E1 area, waiting to push round into Papapavin. Papapavin still hasn't reloaded, still only got 4 shots. Frawley down below him as well with over us. Szczepanik now back on. Szczepanik and Zimja might try and, as you said, Daki, force up here onto Frawley.
They'll take so much damage for that, though, for that play. They'll take so many shots. They'll take at least 2 IS-7 shots to even make it there. So
Shoku taking one in the face for overextending there from Lukin.
yeah, there was no need for him to do that. He knew Lukin was in that area. He got punished for it. Kind of on him for that one, but now Bihu joining as well. It has to be the play on towards Frawley. Frawley needs to hit these shots. He needs to make these connections as well.
Lukin being shot at by artillery, so artillery's not able to help him at the moment. Lukin is stunned. Utopia gathering up their tanks in this dry riverbed. They're going to make the push now into eSuba. Let's listen into their team speak.
No.
Do lewej zmija.
Tak, żeby spota w ostatnim momencie dostać. Kurwa.
Szczepan, ty spokojnie, masz mało HP, Szczepan.
Dobra.
On na nas się nie patrzy.
Baty!
A
Baty!
baty tutaj stoi.
Gdzie pan?
Zabierz go.
Ja
Chować się
dobijam.
od batów.
Chowajcie się od baty.
Chowajcie się od batów teraz,
Teraz
jest
schowałem
dobrze.
się od batów,
I
kurwa.
za chwilę baty zrobimy sobie.
A teraz
No.
widzę, będziecie pikował już teraz
Wróć,
z góry.
ty,
Jest is.
Uciekaj.
jest kolejny bat.
A może zrotować po prostu i teraz
No.
grać? Żmija!
Kurwa, nic mnie by wyjebał.
Zobacz ci
On se tam pojechał.
No żmija za daleko pojechał.
No i dupa no. Ja
Spotkamy.
pierdolę. Weź przestań. Weź przestań żmija kurwa. Bo się kurwa trołujesz nam gry. Trołujesz nam kurwa gry.
Jedź ty, jedź mi Huber Hema, jedź. Jedź pod Hema. Ze Szczepankiem, jedźcie we dwóch.
Cieknie.
Nie myślisz, żeby podjechać od razu tu i sobie
Tak.
Jedź,
zrobić?
jedź, jedź, złapiecie,
Zapięcie.
długo złapiecie, długo
Zapięcie
możecie złapać.
spadł.
Tu przyjedźcie, pany, przyjedźcie tutaj, przyjedźcie tutaj.
Ale tam
We dwóch.
WZ z tym. Tym puszczą.
Odbiłem się jeszcze statem, lol.
Gąskę ma!
Jedź,
Gąskę ma,
jedź,
szybko.
nie bój się, jedź,
Jadę,
Bichu.
jadę. Ale
Spota macie?
ci mogą tutaj
Zmida,
podjechać.
nie strzelicie Archema Zmida?
Nie wiem.
A dajcie covera na to.
No damy covera jakby jechali.
Pociesz go?
Drzewko się chyba tam przewaliło. Uciekł. Bat.
Spokojnie tam teraz, spokojnie
Zbieram
tam,
bata.
baty, spokojnie.
WZ
3
strzeliła.
sekundy na bata ma.
Paweł, ty info, te baty musi być, on cię mogą spuszować, Paweł, te 2 baty.
Tak, mogą.
Uważaj Stefan na WZ.
Ja patrzę na pawiana.
Muka,
bo
ty
tutaj
spoti
tak
te
nie ma.
baty, Muka, spoti te baty
No.
tutaj, jakby jechały.
No, nie wiem czy
Ja
spotnę,
też
ale
jest
zobacz.
spotnę tak samo.
Dajmy Arcie pograć teraz jeszcze przez minutę, 2.
Dobra, będę spotował te baty już teraz raczej. Powinny
Tego RHM-a nie da się wjechać od tej strony.
Ja mam 4 pestki.
On uciekł RHM czy nie?
O nie, on na gwiazdeczku raczej jest.
To Bichu musi tego RHM-a, nie?
Zastanawiam się, czy nie da się od tej strony wjechać, bo teraz te WZ
Dobra,
nie
jest,
patrzą.
Ja
jest.
reload. Ja klikam reload,
Jestem, ale
bo
mam spota.
No klikaj,
chuja
klikaj.
mi zrobią. Znaczy ja chuja zrobię.
A czemu wy się nie komunikujecie tymi batami?
Gdzie ten jebany RHM
On
jest,
chyba
kurwa?
uciekł jak na moje.
Mouse ucieka. Jezus.
I jedzie do tutaj. kontrowy.
Masz na te pestki, Pawian?
Pawian, te baty mogły tam uciec, nie? Stąd.
No,
Zaraz
Zeta.
to nas jedzie.
No to uciekajcie stanu, bo baty
jedź,
no,
on
są
tylko
baty. Są baty.
Zrotowały baty.
No.
No.
Pawian, szybko tutaj po instacie.
Jak tam pouciekały te spota?
Nie wiem.
A jak?
Normalnie.
Ja pierdolę,
Nie da rady,
ty.
nie da rady przecież. Ten
Serio,
push
Paweł,
tam
nie
był.
dał rady spotować.
Ten push
Jak?
tam był.
Jak tej strony się nie da spotować tego kwadrata?
Nie
Przecież
mam boosta, to się nie da.
Czemu wy nie chcecie, czemu wy tutaj zamknęliście się w ogóle? To jest bez sensu dla mnie pytanie.
Ja
To jest
pierdolę,
bez
ale
sensu dla
postola
was
jest znowu grana.
No bo kurde nie, żmija też sobie trołuje, no.
Bat
Nie, bo
na
nie
środku.
potrafi wjechać normalnie jak nasze 3 baty, tylko ginie. Kurde, gościu. Ty się kurde naucz grać.
Well, even if you don't know Polish, you will be able to appreciate the emotion there and the words being exchanged between Utopia right now.
Smia! Smia, why?
He basically threw that round there in that whole exchange. After they dropped Frawley for pretty much nothing in return, it's allowed eSuba to come back into this. eSuba now with 5 guns against 3. Well, 2 of Utopia if you don't include artillery there. Papa Pawin was in a one-shot, but combat just picked him off. And this is the danger, like you're saying, Daki, of picking artillery.
No,
It
this
can
is the
work in
danger
your
with a
favour.
Bacha that's like having a cruise around the map.
Oh! 474 from artillery.
Yeah, but there's some misplays there. Zmia going a little bit too far forward, one could
A
say.
little bit over aggressive,
But then
yeah, a little bit
also,
over
like,
eager.
Frawley should have gotten at least 2 shots from that position. He wasn't spotting properly. They came around the corner, they killed him. He only did 1. He should have gotten at least 2 out. So, I mean, misplays kind of from both sides. But after that, you know, trading Frawley for Zmia, that's a trade in favor of eSuba.
I think it's only fair to point out, I think that's at least Unji's second triple kill of the match.
Do you have him in your team, by any chance?
Pretty sure I removed him from my team and put somebody else in instead. I think I actually swapped him for Meritorious.
I have
thinking
6 Dinguys and Alpha.
Alpha. Bold choice. I have T players from Ding, eSuba, and Oops, basically.
That's really bold.
I think they're going to win all 3 matches, but yeah.
I don't know, Ghost
Combat
Town
I've got from eSuba.
could be 2-0 for Utopia.
Could be 2-0. Well,
Could
I
also
did
be
say it.
2-0 for eSuba.
Possibly Daki, or it could be 1-1 for Utopia and eSuba. Well, okay. Okay, that's a bold, you know.
Somebody's winning 2-0 here.
Well, yeah, if it does, then it's my prediction from the previous rounds. You know, I predicted the 2-0 first coming into Ghost Town, providing that eSuba took this round.
Okay,
Just saying
Ryan.
I got out there first, you know? Just saying, I just want to get out there first. It means that our prediction is still on as well. Production's prediction is still on right now. So, you know, there's a lot riding on this Ghost Town battle right
Predicting against production's like not even fair because there's 6 guys and they're still wrong usually. So
now. Usually, yeah. And they just always go with Polish teams 9 times out of 10 anyway. And they know the lineups usually before we do as well.
bias.
And they still don't actually outpick us, which is quite interesting.
Everybody outpicks you. Coming from the guy that lost the bet against him.
I was gonna say, bear in mind, remember what you're wearing right now.
I knew that was coming, so I just did it beforehand.
Right. Now, Ghost Town is a map you don't see in random battles for World of Tanks. It was a map added specifically in for competitive modes. It is essentially a symmetrical map. You have attack and defense. They do start in slightly different spawn areas, and the cap circles are slightly offset to the middle of the map and the top of the map. eSuba are going to be on the red side attacking, Utopia blue side defending. eSuba going with quite a heavy lineup there, Daki. Notice a couple of T-57 heavies in there as well. Also in defense, though, for Utopia.
Yeah, Utopia is coming out with the Leopard 1 though. They're going to be using that one for the climb on A1. There was a lot of mouses on the eSuba side, I think 2 or 3, that are going to be played. This looks like a middle cap like we've seen before, where you take control over all the angles and then you put the mouse in the cap to try and bait out the rotation coming out from the defensive team.
Triple T-57 heavy, though, coming out from Utopia on defense. If they can get their clips out, reload, and come back in with another set, that is going to be some monumental damage going out.
Well, Zmia is not in the lineup anymore. He's replaced by Wielki soon.
Wow.
I'd say I'm surprised, but I'm not.
Yeah, that's. I mean, we can maybe just say that Wielki's a better 5A player and has practiced more on Ghost Town than what Zmia had, and just ignore the fact that he perhaps cost his team that previous round there.
This is a
on
quick play from
Sandro.
eSuba though. Double mouse straight onto the cap. Andrew already taking a position, followed up by Unji. He takes 1 from the 5A, which is naturally going to happen. Unji's now going to cross as well. Might take a second one actually. But the double mouse is on the cap. So that's a lot of pressure. That's 53 seconds remaining. And now it's already on Utopia to start making those rotations.
Utopia with an immediate response. They're sending Steroids up first. The Biku and Shoku coming in support of him. Steroids is going to get spotted when he does that. Shot coming out, gets one into Pratily check. Doesn't actually get a reset from it. Doesn't pen. Down to 37 seconds. Now Biku and Shoku are going to come up and try and get shots into Frawley and Pratily check. At the same time, Shipang's going to come around in a mouse. So there is like a little crossfire coming here. Frawley set on fire, taking a lot of damage here right now in his mouse. Pratily check's going to get himself safe in the corner. And there is no real return fire coming back out from Utopia. From eSuba. They're effectively just sacrificing Frawley right now.
Yeah, the positions weren't taken yet by the side from eSuba. They lose Frawley. Unji and Overus were not ready to deal with that. Now they have to bring the pain though, because it's going to be all over before they even know what happened to them. Unji's pushing forward. They need to make kills to even this out.
eSuba need to get stuck in because the T-57s have a quick reload. They're going to come back off. Biku already now reloaded, ready to get shots back in. Unji has taken damage in his T-57 for eSuba. So is Andrew. They need to start focusing tanks of Utopia and dropping him. Now Overus down to a one-shot in his mouse, 307 HP. Mucka here, still got shots available to him. Papa Pavin coming into the battle in a Leopard. He could be an absolutely vital player right now for his team.
Yeah, this is pretty much over for eSuba. They lose Unji. They're 3 guns down. Utopia with the quick reaction, the quick play on towards Frawley's position. eSuba in no position whatsoever to even punish this. I don't think they even knew the T-57s were there until they peeked out and removed Frawley. Now that all that remains is for Utopia to close it out. And like I said, 2-0, I think it's going to happen still.
looking at coming off reload. He rams Papapowan, trying to do a bit more damage and gets a shot into him. Papapowan had the double kill. He's face hugging a 5A, which is not a place you want to be, although he does get a shot out. Lukin's going to come off reload, finishing him off, but in the meantime, all his teammates are dying all around him. Only Combat and him survive right now. And Utopia, they're going to finish this one off. 6 tanks still alive right now. An absolute smashing right now of eSuba, and well, they're going to have to come back into this one and come back into it strong.
Yeah, that was not good from eSuba. They weren't in position whatsoever to cover off. You need that bottom road and the top road to actually shoot on towards the back of those tanks. They controlled neither. I don't think they even saw the T-57s, and then Froley was like, oh, hello?
Froley was like, guys,
and then he got set on fire.
Yeah.
And then he was dead before he even realized what was happening. And after that, you know, Over was trying to play the bottom side, but he got pushed by Wielki and by Papapavin, who relocated in his Leopard, and it was already all over when Froley died, to be honest. You can't let those mouses on the cap die because you lose all positioning as well. They had some full HP guys, but what can they do when you lose 3 guns?
Yeah, I mean, to lose a mouse so quickly as well at the start of the battle and not to have anyone else come in and get shots. The T-57s are going to be like, cheers, well now reloads. Now when you come into it, we're ready to shoot you again. And exactly as we said, if the T-57s, if they can get a clip out, reload safely, get a clip out again, or prepare to get a clip out again, it's a very horrible tank to face up against like that.
The T-57 is powerful close range with that quick reload, quick burst as well. I think Utopia is winning this, man.
I think production have got it right.
For once.
For once, maybe. You know, we'll break it down and we'll see on Monday. We'll see on Monday who actually has the lead predictions. I don't know. eSuba, I still think, can come back into this. I think we're going to get a tiebreaker from the first match of the day, and I think Utopia and eSuba will be kicking themselves for not being able to pick up the clean points when it was potentially there for the taking.
I think eSuba is not going to be too unhappy if they pick up at least 1 point.
Yeah, I mean, actually, there's me saying I think it's going to be a tiebreaker after just saying on Sand River how I thought if it goes 3-3 that somebody will win this map. So I keep chopping and changing, Daki. I think I just like seeing these teams go against each other because they are fairly balanced, really. Like, no team is essentially fully dominating another one right now.
So, kind of similar lineup from eSuba minus the T-57s. They have the Leopard. They have 2 5As, 2 Mouses, a Batshot, and a 50B. So less clip potential there for them to work with. So it's a more spread defense. But again, the Leopard 1 being in there, going on A1.
So it's going to get asked, because it always does get asked in chat when people come in who are not so familiar with the esports, why the difference between taking a 57 or taking an AMX 50B?
Well, AMX 50B has APCR, which goes through fences. The T-57 has heat, which obviously doesn't go through fences. So if you're putting him, for example, on 1-2 line, there's a lot of fences there, a lot of houses that you can have to shoot through. There's Andrew playing that one, and he is in 1-2 line, so use that. 57 has quicker burst and it has heat, so it's like much better for close range. It also has like more armor, because the 57 is actually quite bouncy nowadays, where 50B doesn't bounce anything.
50B also has the advantage of being able to relocate quicker as well than the T-57, doesn't it? Slightly less HP than it though as well. So really, like, if you're looking to do rotations, AMX 50B. If you're looking to just go for a straight up fight, usually T-57 you'll find on this map. And Andrew, if you look at the defensive line on the left hand side in the 50B, is over there with Unji and Pratilicek. Pratilicek in a 5A and Unji in a 5A as well.
Overus should be able to do some more damage towards Shapanek even right now. Has an angle towards the side armor. Doesn't go through. Go one shot of damage. Shapanek will now be going safe and side scrape off of that. But in the meantime, Utopia taking a lot of control over the G line. But there's a lot of eSuba tanks there, ready and waiting to meet them if they try and drive up that ramp.
Steroids has spotted out Unji directly ahead of him. Doesn't quite know that Andrew's there. Pratilicek has potential shots on him as well. Steroid starts backing off, and Utopia going to reposition himself from this area. Initially looking like they're going to do a south play, but Papapowan coming to back him up, Daki. So it looks like they still might want to do something in this area, as also Biku coming all the way down south as well.
Yeah, everybody's going to join there for Utopia. They're going to push on towards Overus' position, what it looks like right now. They're grouping up. They want to push down that lane, get behind Overus, and kill him quickly before the guns from eSuba are in position to deal with that. We need to see how much damage they will take on the crossing for that, if that is the plan. But it can work out here, because I don't think Unji and Andrew are really expecting this play.
You can see how Overus, knowing how to play that mouse, is able to keep his tank blocked to be able to deflect as many shots coming in his way. Now Steroids Mocha and Papawin going to try and push into the back of Overus, and eSuba not able to do any shots. Lukin does be able to get one round, and Overus is going to get himself caught in a crossfire. Steroids taking another shot as he goes over there. Main damage coming out into Steroids. Now Overus has to defend like an absolute beast here, because look at this, Shapanic's going to come over from the other side. Frawley's coming down off the hill where he was in support of Combat. Overus taking more damage, down to a one-shot. Next one possibly going to kill him if they can make it work.
Next one should kill him at least. The bounce comes out, Papapavian. No, it's actually Steroids from the back line to finish it off. They eSuba to make that play now. eSuba's coming closer, but there's 5 guns from Utopia ready and waiting for them. I don't think they can make this counter play right now. They need to be careful, because if they push into this, they're all going to die.
Unji, Andrew, and Pratlicek coming around here. Andrew is in an autoloader. He's stuck behind the corner. Can't really do anything. Damage going out between two teams. Utopia taking an absolute beating for this right now, but they still vitally have all 7 guns in the game. Andrew is now clipped out. He's going to be on a reload. It's up to Unji and Pratlicek to keep shooting, but look at this. Pratlicek getting shot in the back from Biku, getting shot in the front from 3 tanks. Pratlicek is in a very bad position right now. He's going to go down for this. Biku still with 2 shots to go. It's actually Steroids picking up his double kill from the rear. Daki, this looks like all and over right now, because eSuba are really struggling right now with 2 tanks against the guns of eSuba at 7.
It's not all over just yet because of the flank coming out from Combat in the no, from Frawley actually in that bad shot. He can pick up Vielke and Shapanik, and that might even the game, but they need to get those kills right now. They lose Lukin though, that leaves 3. So many one-shots for the side of eSuba, for the side of Utopia actually, but I just believe Utopia is well ahead actually.
Big miss there from Combat, putting one over the top of Steroids. We always talk about guns in the game right now. Utopia surviving with 2 tanks still on a one-shot right now. They're still able to continue to do shots back to eSuba, and that is what's really causing eSuba problems right now. They've just not closed. They've not finished off these tanks and left them on a sliver of health. Bit of luck in their favour, I guess, for Utopia. It's a high roll or a low roll away from basically being removed from the game.
Yeah, I think Combat made a mistake in this game actually in the Leopard 1, relocating towards the 1 line. I think he should have been with Frawley if anything. Yeah, he's in trouble now.
He's in real trouble right now. So Utopia are going to be taking this one 5-3. Their challenge for the top 2 spots in the league still on right now. eSuba are still struggling. They're still in, to be fair. They're still holding on to 6th place. But with also Who Cares and Savage Squad playing today as well, all they need is a tiebreaker from Savage Squad to be able to go ahead of them.
Yeah, I mean, eSuba there, I don't think Combat should have been in 1-2 line anymore. He should have gone with Frawley to get those guns from behind. I don't think they were aware that there was 5 guns from Utopia in the south, because they tried to make